What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Rob Sports Center. Now, I'm not going to even lie. I did not think that I was going to get the response that I got off the Saints video, my last Saints video I post, because I hadn't posted for a year up until then, and it was more so kind of a rant just to voice my frustration. And I see a lot of you guys have the same frustration I have. So today's video, I'm not going to just give a deep dive or a deep breakdown into New England. I feel like as Saints fans, we all know what we need to be doing to implement moving forward for us to have to capitalize on, being a playoff team, being in playoff contention, because we're only 2-2. It's not like we're in a bad position. We're only 2-2, so we're at 500. So as long as we can try to stay at 500 at least, we got a shot at making it to the playoffs. Now, how far we're going to go, that's a different story. But for me, I consider a win this year making the playoffs, whether it's wild card or whatever, because we haven't made the playoffs since Breeze left. So for me, that's a win. I consider that a win of the season. But what I wanted to do, though, man, like I said, I was very appreciative of the love and the support, man, you guys showed me in the last video. So I kind of just went down. I wrote a couple of you guys' names down on paper, and I was going to kind of give like a little shout out your name, and then, just shout out the comment that you commented, because some of this stuff was really, really funny. So the first person we got, Mr. Haitian Black. Now, I kind of paraphrased it in a sense, but Haitian Black was like, we have more turnovers than we had touchdowns. So at first I was like, hold up. So I go on ESPN looking at the stats, and I'm thinking he's serious. And then I go look at it and I say, okay, but yeah, I get what you're saying. It almost seems like it, real talk. It really do. It almost seems like it. But shout out to you, Haitian Black. The other one is Mr. T Dirty. I really didn't know how to pronounce your name, so I kind of just based off how it was kind of spelled. So if I messed your name up, my bad, man. But my man said that how we got all these damn weapons and Carr can't get us in the end zone. Ridiculous. I say the same thing. Now, I got to be devil's advocate, because normally over the last 2 years, I was giving Winston and I was giving Hill. I was giving Trevor Siemian. I wouldn't necessarily say Bridgewater. I was giving all those guys hell. So I'm going to be a little bit more understanding, because I do think Derek Carr is a better quarterback than all those guys I just named. But that is a valid point. At some point, we should be consistently able to get into the end zone. You know what I mean? At some point, you would think that if you're going based off of paper, you would most definitely think that we should be able to get into the end zone a pretty consistent amount. He also commented, man, Dennis Allen is not a good head coach. Everybody been saying that. My homeboy been saying that from the jump. Shout out to D. John. But Dennis Allen is not a good head coach. He's trash. Pete Carmichael is trash. And Carr ain't it. He is trash. It's still who that for life. By the way, I know I had a couple Saints fans that were, probably was thinking that I really hate the Saints. No, I'm a Saints fan, man. I've been watching the Saints since I was a little kid, man. I started watching the Saints when I was probably maybe 5th grade with my pawpaw. Like, that was a routine. Every Sunday we go watch the Saints. I would go over his house and we watch Saints games. I was able to witness. That's an experience I had with my pawpaw forever, was going over there and watching us win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, and I couldn't fully grasp the concept of the game, but just being there and being in connection with my pawpaw, that's something that, that'll last for a lifetime. But man, no matter what, I always say, win, lose, draw. We go 0-16, man. I'm not gonna ever stop saying that I'm a Saints fan. I'm a Saints fan up until the day I die, man. I'm never going against my team, regardless of who's on there, because those are just people. But I'm still with my team. It's nothing that we can do that will make me sway away from, being a Saints fan, man. So yeah, that's most definitely, man. Who that for life, always. So I got Mr. Fabian Moy 7919. Carr is the most overrated QB in NFL history. Now, if you are a Las Vegas Raiders fan, you probably are serious about that. You know what I mean? Because I have a homegirl I work with, and she grills me like nonstop. This was even before I knew Carr was coming to the Saints. Like, this was a year and a half ago, a year ago. This before any of this happened. She always was like, Carr ain't it, Carr ain't this, Carr ain't that. Now, I would say from my point of view, I never really seen Carr as hyped up as, some other quarterbacks, to a certain degree. But I mean, I can understand you. I would say that maybe his brother might have been a little overhyped, but then even looking at the situation that he was thrust into, you kind of can't, it's kind of a little tug of war situation. And even with Las Vegas to a certain degree, man, all the stuff that was going on, you got Henry Ruggs, the fatal DUI, you got Gruden, the racial comments, then you got Antonio Brown. He was like the ignition, the fire ignition for that situation to go the way it did. So next, I got Mr. Chris YR2, I think is that 2ZMQ. If I mispronounced that, my bad. But he said, if you hate the Saints, why not get rich off them? Now, this was an interesting comment, and let me tell you why. So when he commented that, I'm looking like, so I commented back, just curious what you mean. And he was like, betting against them. He was like, if you hate them so much, bet against them and maybe you'll make a lot of money. Now, I'm going to break that down for you. For one, financially, I ain't got it to be put into betting. You know what I mean? It's almost me betting myself or my landlord if I'm going to be able to make rent at the first of each month, just because of the way life has been kicking my butt the last 2 years. But also, it'll be just my luck where, man, I can put, it could be a team that I know the Saints we supposed to lose to. Man, I can say, man, I'm willing to go all out. I put everything on the line. And just by my luck, we would win. And I'm not talking about no 3-point win or last minute win. It'll be a win by this much. I'm talking about a blowout. They'll be saying that this was the best Saints team that ever played, that we've ever seen, like since the Saints existence. So no, sir, I can't do that one, man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to pass on that one. So next you got Who That 09 says, get these dudes out of here, bro. Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael have no guts. I most definitely agree with you on that. You know what I mean? Like I said, my buddy, man, he's been anti-Dennis Allen since the beginning. Shout out to Dijon once again. He's been anti-Dennis Allen since the beginning. He just was no-go from it. Me, I gave Dennis Allen the benefit of the doubt. I was like, man, you know, he's come. We was in the process of trying to rebuild ourselves identity-wise as the quarterback position. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm not going to really just put gas on him. You know, then we didn't have Michael Thomas. So it was a lot of things that, you know, he was kind of coming into. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt, which I always try, because I know that, you know, at the NFL it's very difficult to be consistently dominant or consistently good, especially because there's a lot of parts pulling, and some things it really probably is out of your control. I've heard a lot of college coaches say that's the reason why they don't want to convert over to the NFL. But based off what I've seen this year, I just haven't seen that dog in him. Like, I haven't seen that, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say anger, but that passion as far as the coaching and stuff. Like, it just, in my mind, it almost looks as if we're game managing, but we lose it, or it's 0-0. So at some point, we have to be able to put up points and then game manage. Then you can run it. But then at the same time, you actually have to be moving forward progressively with the run game. You can't just say, oh, we're going to come out here and run the ball 3 straight plays and we gain, 5-6 yards. Now it's 3 and out. Now we having to put our defense back on the field. And while I'm saying that, shout out to our defense, man, from last year up until this year, because we're putting them in difficult positions, bro. Like, we really are. It's no excuse. Whatever happens defensively, right, we might give up some plays here and there that's solely on us, but a lot of it comes down to how much and how often they are on the field, because we can't stay on the field. You can look at that just by looking at how many points that we done scored this year. I'm talking about just offensively, not pick sixes or fumble recovery for two. I'm talking about just scoring alone. You know, so no, I fully agree with you on that one. So the last one we got Mr. Brandon Brown, 1908. And he says, honestly, he feel it's about 60, maybe 70% is on the offensive coordinator, Pete Carmichael. The other 40 or 30% is split between the O-line and Derek Carr. And that was an interesting take, because I was like, okay, that's a fair fish. Like, obviously, you got some people who are going to put all the blame on Derek Carr. And being the quarterback, that just comes with the territory. Whether you accept it or not, that's going to be something that's going to be presented to you. You're going to be held reliable for a lot of the failure, even if it stands out of your control. Now, granted, like I say, he is responsible, but to a certain degree, the offensive line have not been blocking. And that goes to me jumping from that topic to this topic. We have a couple injuries. Now, this was as of, I think this was yesterday. This was as of Friday. I think yesterday was October the 6th, so it might change. But we got offensive tackle Lando Young, he's out. Cornerback Lonnie Johnson Jr., he's out. Paulson Adebo, which is our corner, he's questionable. One of our offensive tackles, James Hurst, he's questionable. Our tight end, Juwan Johnson, he's out. And Derek Carr is questionable. Now, granted, this is going to be a separate video. I promise you, not one. Who I'm finna hear the name now. And I want to see y'all in the comments, because if I just pray, because this is most definitely going to be a video. If Jameis Winston plays tomorrow, I can guarantee you it ain't going to get too much better with him. I promise you. And if anybody disagrees with that, I'm talking about go deep into those comments, man, because I'm telling you, I already got that gun locked and loaded. I'm just ready to let it loose. I'm just ready to let it loose. I think I might hit up one of the little youngsters in the street and see if I can get me a switch to put on there, because I'm just ready to let that thing loose so bad. Like, that's it. But to stay away from that, now we're gonna jump back onto this situation right here with my man Brandon Brown's comment. Yeah, it's an even balance. We can't just put it on one person, man. The blame is distributed evenly throughout the team, But I think that certain areas deserve a little bit more, because I feel like in certain areas, this area starts to take a downpour or a down seat because of, and that's the defense. When I say that's shade towards the offense, you know what I mean? Which it don't need to be no shade. Even with the dome, we all know what's going on out there with that situation, But I would say, man, in order for us to win, bro, we got to be able to put up some points. Like, we got to score more than 9 points, man. I didn't even take the time to go look at where we're running, passing, running, none of that. Man, we got to score points. That's our biggest thing. Granted, we're going up against a good defense, which is a Bill Belichick defense with the New England Patriots. Now, they are hurt in a lot of areas, you know what I mean? But I'm a big fan of Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick has that culture of one man down, next man up. And those guys are still able to ball. But those injuries that they do have is going to play some part into that. And then we also have the luxury of dealing with a not so fatal quarterback with Mac Jones, plus him coming off of a bad game. So that can either mean two things. Either that bug is going to stay attached to him and he's going to come out there and do the same thing against us, being that he is going up against a pretty superb defense, or we can be the example game, because there's 9 times out of 10 how it goes. A lot of times, a lot of players that had key moments that's probably been the highlight of their career against the Saints. Beast mode. So we gonna see how that's gonna go though. But man, that's the biggest thing, man. We just gotta be able to score some points, realistically. I mean, I can't really critique the defense too much. I can't really critique the special teams too much. We simply have to score some points. But that's it, man. I ain't gonna make this video too long, man. I will be getting back at y'all most definitely about that James Winston situation, but also too doing a breakdown of what I've noticed after the game with us versus New England tomorrow. And that might go up the day of, or that might go up the next day, but it will be going up. But man, if you guys did enjoy this video, and if you enjoyed all the previous videos up until this point, man, do me a big favor, man. Click that subscribe button. When you click that subscribe button, hit the post notification bell. That way you'll be notified every time I upload, because I'm coming with that consistency. Also, if you enjoyed this video, man, do me a big favor, man. Thumbs up. Also, man, attack them comments, man. Speak y'all mind. If I said something you guys disagree with, let me know. If I said something that you guys do agree with, let me know. I'm all about debates, man. We can do this all around, not just New Orleans. I'm a Saints fan to the heart. But if you want to debate New England, if you're a New England fan watching this, if you want to debate Kansas City, if you want to debate anybody, we can debate. I'm a sports guy. You know what I mean? That's what this channel is here. This is Rob's Sports Center, man. So feel free to engage, because I ain't ducking none of the smoke. And I'll see y'all in the next video, man. Peace.